Ethan had always been fascinated by starships. Since he was a child, he dreamed of soaring through the endless black of space, exploring worlds no human had ever seen, and uncovering secrets long forgotten. Living on the crowded orbital colony of New Arcadia, he spent most of his days repairing old drones, fixing broken ships, and collecting rare mechanical parts. But today, everything changed. The auction hall was buzzing with activity. Holographic displays of starships floated in midair, showing every angle, every dent, every missing panel. Traders, scavengers, and collectors from across the galaxy crowded the place, all shouting over one another, trying to secure their next prize. Ethan pushed through the crowd, his eyes fixed on one particular vessel, a mid-sized freighter that looked ancient and battered, its hull scratched and engines half disassembled. The auctioneer's voice boomed. Lot 457. The Starfreighter Orion. Previously decommissioned. Additional cargo unknown. Starting bid. 50,000 credits. 50,000 credits. 50,000 credits. Ethan's stomach tightened. 50,000 credits was nearly all the money he had saved over years of repairs and small trades. But something about the ship called to him. Perhaps it was the smell of old metal. Or maybe it was the feeling that this vessel had stories to tell. Bidding began. 1, 2, 3. Offers. Ethan hesitated. Then he remembered the dream that had haunted him for years. Piloting his own ship, exploring uncharted sectors, seeing the stars up close. He raised his bid. 55,000 credits. A pause. Another bidder raised to 60. Ethan swallowed hard, then pushed to 65. Silence. No one matched it. The gavel slammed. Sold. Ethan's heart raced. The Orion was his. But as the auctioneer handed him the digital contract, he noticed something odd. The official papers mentioned additional cargo included. Details unknown. 1. What could that mean? He muttered under his breath. Most buyers would have walked away. But Ethan felt a thrill. Whatever it is, it comes with the ship. I'll find out soon enough. By nightfall, he was aboard the Orion. The freighter smelled of burnt circuits and metal polish, mixed with the faint scent of something organic. Its lights flickered on, casting shadows along the narrow corridors. Ethan moved carefully, inspecting every panel, every console, every hatch. He felt a mixture of excitement and unease. The cargo bay was enormous, larger than he had imagined. Crates and containers were stacked haphazardly, many of them covered with heavy tarps. Most seemed empty or abandoned. But one chamber caught his attention. A large metal door, reinforced with multiple locks, bore a red warning. Containment, do not open. Ethan frowned. He knew he should probably leave it alone. Containment chambers were usually for hazardous materials, dangerous equipment, or something worse. But curiosity gnawed at him. He could not ignore it. He checked the locks. They were electronic and easily bypassed with his tools. A soft click, a hiss, and the door slowly opened. Inside, the chamber was dimly lit, filled with a soft glow. Ethan froze. At first, he thought it was a projection, some strange holographic display. But then he saw it. A small creature, curled on a padded surface, its skin shimmering like liquid crystal, pulsing with gentle, bioluminescent light. Its large, dark eyes opened, staring at him with intelligence and curiosity. Ethan's mouth went dry. The alien was unlike anything he had ever seen. It had no mouth that he could discern, no visible ears, but its gaze was sharp, almost human in its intensity. Its small body radiated warmth, and faint ripples of light moved across its skin in patterns he could almost understand. The creature raised a limb, soft, flexible, glowing faintly. Ethan stepped back, startled. Suddenly, he realized it wasn't just observing him. Images flashed in his mind. Swirling lights, distant planets, and strange geometric shapes. At first, he panicked, unsure if it was his imagination. But as he focused, he understood. The alien was trying to communicate not with words, but with thoughts and images. Ethan stumbled backward. I don't know what to do," he whispered. The creature's glow brightened slightly, calming him, sending a soothing wave of emotion. Trust, curiosity, peace. He took a cautious step forward. "Okay, I won't hurt you." For the next hour, Ethan tried to communicate. He held up his hand, pointed to objects, gestured. The alien responded, its light patterns shifting, creating small images in his mind. He realized it understood his intentions, and he began to understand its responses. This was not an animal, nor a mindless creature. It was intelligent, aware, and scared. Ethan sat down on the floor, leaning against the cold metal wall. "I don't know why you're here," he said, "but I'll protect you. I promise." The alien's glow pulsed softly, almost like a nod. That night, Ethan worked late into the ship's interior, making a small, safe area for the alien. He named it Lumi, for the glowing patterns on its skin. Lumi seemed to understand, curling up in the corner, its light dimming to a comfortable, calm shade. Ethan watched it sleep, or whatever the alien did, feeling a mix of awe and responsibility. The next morning, Ethan began exploring the Orion systems more thoroughly. As he activated the engines, lights, and navigation consoles, he noticed something strange. The ship responded to Lumi's presence. Systems that had been dead for years powered up on their own. Lights flickered in patterns matching the alien's glow. Even the navigation console hummed softly, almost as if the ship itself recognized the alien. Ethan's excitement grew. "You're not just a passenger, are you?" he whispered to Lumi. The alien responded with a swirl of light, forming an image in his mind. A distant star system, a planet covered in luminous forests and crystal structures, and symbols that Ethan did not recognize. His mind raced. Who had sent Lumi? Why was it locked away as cargo? And most importantly, what did it want? Ethan knew one thing for sure. This ship and this alien were not ordinary. And now, they were his responsibility. As Ethan prepared to leave New Arcadia, strange signals began appearing on the ship's sensors. Small, fast-moving objects approached from deep space, cloaked in stealth technology. He realized that someone or something was tracking the Orion. A chill ran down his spine. Whoever had left Lumi in that chamber might want it back. And they were not going to ask politely. Ethan gripped the controls. "All right, Lumi," he said. "Let's see what your ship can do." The engines roared to life, shaking the freighter. Lights pulsed in rhythm with Lumi's glow, as if the alien were guiding the systems. Ethan felt a surge of hope and fear simultaneously. The Orion, once a derelict relic, now seemed alive, awakened by the presence of its mysterious cargo. They passed the orbit of New Arcadia, entering the darkness of uncharted space. Ethan stole a glance at Lumi. The alien's glow brightened, as if sensing new possibilities, new adventures. He realized that from this moment, his life had changed forever. He was no longer just a scavenger or a dreamer. He was the guardian of something extraordinary, something that could change the galaxy. As stars streaked past the viewport, Ethan felt a thrill he had never experienced. This was only the beginning. The Orion, the alien, and he were bound together now, hurtling toward mysteries, dangers, and discoveries beyond imagination. And Ethan knew one truth. The galaxy was far larger, stranger, and more wondrous than he had ever believed. But somewhere, in the shadowed corners of space, eyes were watching, tracking the freighter's course. The auction had been the easy part. The real adventure, the one that could test Ethan's courage, ingenuity, and humanity, was just beginning. The Orion moved silently through the black expanse of space, the stars stretching like streaks of silver light across the viewport. Ethan leaned back in his chair, trying to process what had happened. Just a day ago, he had been a simple scavenger, wandering crowded spaceports and fixing old machinery. Now he was the captain of a mysterious ship, carrying a small alien creature whose intelligence was far beyond anything he had ever encountered. Lumi sat in its corner, glowing softly, its light pulsing in patterns that seemed to reflect its mood. Ethan studied it carefully. "I need to understand you," he said quietly. "If we're going to survive out here, we have to be able to communicate." For hours, Ethan tried everything he could think of. He showed Lumi holographic images of planets, stars, and human tools. He drew diagrams in the air, using the ship's interactive panels. Lumi responded with flashes of light, ripples of color, and images in Ethan's mind. At first, he could only catch fragments. A spiral galaxy, a planet covered in glowing forests, and shapes that resembled symbols or letters. But over time, the fragments began to make sense. Lumi could project images and emotions directly into Ethan's mind. Fear, curiosity, excitement, and wonder were all communicated effortlessly. Ethan realized that the alien was not just intelligent, it was aware of him, aware of the Orion, and aware of the universe, in ways humans could barely comprehend. Ethan smiled, feeling a mixture of awe and determination. "All right, Lumi," he said. "We're going to learn each other's languages. You help me with the ship, and I'll try to help you understand me." The next few days were spent exploring the Orion. Ethan taught Lumi simple tasks, opening and closing doors, activating lights, and monitoring the ship's systems. To his surprise, Lumi was quick to learn. Its glowing patterns shifted to match console lights, and occasionally, systems that had been offline for decades powered up on their own when Lumi approached. Ethan realized that the alien could interface with technology in a way humans could not. "You're making the ship alive," he whispered one evening, watching as lights blinked in response to Lumi's subtle movements. "It's like the Orion knows you're here." The bond between them grew. Ethan started speaking aloud even when Lumi didn't respond verbally. He told stories of his childhood, his dreams of exploring the stars, and the strange twists of fate that led him to the Orion. Lumi would glow in patterns that seemed to convey understanding or amusement. Sometimes, Ethan swore he could see curiosity in the alien's eyes. Then came the first real challenge. While scanning the nearby sector for fuel stations and trade posts, the ship's sensors detected movement. Small, fast objects approaching from deep space. Ethan's stomach tightened. Pirates or bounty hunters often traveled in stealth ships, preying on vulnerable freighters. And if these ships were after the Orion, it was likely because of Lumi. Ethan activated the Orion's rudimentary defense systems. Lights blinked across the control panels, and he could hear the faint hum of the engines ramping up. "Stay close, Lumi," he said. The alien's glow intensified, pulsing rhythmically. Ethan felt a sudden connection, as if Lumi was guiding the ship, helping him sense the incoming threat. The first object came into view. A small scout ship, sleek and black, its surface reflecting the starlight. Ethan maneuvered the Orion, trying to dodge its scans. Lumi's glow shifted rapidly, creating patterns that projected warnings and suggestions into Ethan's mind. Following the alien's guidance, Ethan twisted the controls, narrowly avoiding the scout's targeting beam. The alien's abilities were astonishing. It could sense the environment, predict movements, and even subtly influence the Orion's systems. Ethan realized that Lumi was not just a passenger, it was a co-pilot, a guide, and perhaps the Orion's true reason for survival. The scout fired, sending a pulse of energy that hit the Orion's hull. Sparks flew from a damaged panel, and alarms blared. Ethan gritted his teeth. "We need to lose them," he said. Lumi's glow brightened, and the ship responded, engines roaring as if energized by the alien's presence. The Orion accelerated, weaving through an asteroid field, narrowly avoiding collisions. For hours, they maneuvered through space, dodging traps and ambushes. Ethan noticed something remarkable. The longer they worked together, the more intuitive their communication became. Lumi didn't just send images, it conveyed strategies, possibilities, and warnings with precision. It was as if the alien could anticipate what Ethan needed before he even realized it. Eventually, the pursuers gave up, their ships vanishing into the darkness. Ethan exhaled, leaning back in his seat. "That was too close," he muttered. Lumi's glow softened, radiating a calming warmth. Ethan reached out, touching its soft, luminous surface. "We make a good team, don't we?" Over the next week, Ethan and Lumi established routines. Ethan taught Lumi about human life, food, sleep, emotions, and language. Lumi responded with glowing patterns and images, gradually revealing its own history. It had been captured by a group of unknown beings and placed in containment for reasons it did not fully understand. Ethan realized that Lumi's species was highly advanced, possibly even more so than humans, but vulnerable in certain ways. One evening, as the Orion glided past a ringed gas giant, Ethan set up a small projector to show Lumi images of Earth and human colonies across the galaxy. Lumi's glow pulsed, forming shapes that resembled the continents and cities. Ethan laughed softly. "I see you're fascinated by humans," he said. "We're not perfect, but we try. You'll see." The alien responded with a series of bright flashes, forming images of courage, curiosity, and discovery. Ethan understood immediately. Lumi was beginning to trust him. The alien recognized his intentions were good, and perhaps, for the first time in its life, it felt safe. But safety was fragile. While Ethan and Lumi bonded, the galaxy remained full of dangers. Signals appeared on the Orion's sensors, encrypted transmissions from unknown sources, following their path, tracking their location. Ethan frowned. Whoever had placed Lumi in the Orion did not want the alien to remain free. He realized that the additional cargo warning on the auction papers was not just a formality. Lumi had been deliberately left behind, and someone powerful was searching for it. Ethan understood the stakes. Protecting Lumi meant navigating both the physical dangers of space and the hidden threats of a galaxy that valued profit and power above life. Ethan spent hours scanning the Orion's systems, upgrading the ship wherever he could. With Lumi's guidance, he learned to enhance the engines, optimize shields, and even use the alien's abilities to interface with the ship's AI. Together, they created a seamless system. Ethan provided strategy and decision-making, while Lumi enhanced the ship's capabilities in ways no human could. Their partnership was tested again when they encountered a derelict space station. At first, it seemed abandoned, but sensors indicated movement inside. Ethan docked cautiously, with Lumi glowing softly as if sensing danger. Inside, they found remnants of a research team and scattered equipment, but also signs of an alien tracking device likely left by whoever had captured Lumi originally. Ethan realized that Lumi was not just an alien companion. It was a key to something much larger. Perhaps the Orion itself had been chosen to transport it across the galaxy. But for what purpose? He did not yet know. He made a silent vow. No matter the cost, he would keep Lumi safe and uncover the truth behind its origin. Night fell on the Orion. But in the vacuum of space, night was only a concept. Ethan and Lumi rested in their quarters well, as much as Lumi rested. Ethan watched the soft glow dim and brighten rhythmically, like a heartbeat. "We're going to figure this out," he whispered. "We're going to find out who you are and why you're here." For the first time in his life, Ethan felt a true sense of purpose. It was no longer about scavenging or survival. It was about trust, companionship, and the unknown possibilities of a galaxy full of secrets. Lumi was no longer just a mystery. It was a partner, a guide, and perhaps the key to humanity's potential to connect with life beyond its understanding. As the Orion glided past distant stars, Ethan knew one thing: this journey was only beginning. The universe was vast, full of challenges, wonders, and dangers. But with Lumi by his side, he felt ready to face whatever came next. The bond they were forming was unique, a partnership that transcended language, species, and even the known limits of space. And somewhere, far beyond the sensors and communication arrays, eyes watched. Observers who had once captured Lumi were tracking the Orion. They did not yet understand the human's determination or the alien's intelligence. But soon, they would. Ethan's grip tightened on the controls. "No one is taking you back, Lumi. Not while I'm here." Lumi pulsed in response, a gentle, luminous affirmation. Together, they would navigate the unknown, face dangers, and unlock secrets that could change the galaxy forever. The Orion, once a derelict freighter, had become alive, not because of its engines or systems, but because of the connection between human and alien. And as they moved deeper into uncharted space, both Ethan and Lumi sensed the promise of adventure, discovery, and challenges unlike anything they had faced before. Ethan had been piloting the Orion for several weeks now, exploring deep space alongside Lumi. The alien's presence had changed the freighter in ways he could hardly describe. Systems that had been dormant for decades were now fully operational. The engines responded with a smoothness he had never experienced before. Even the navigation system seemed to anticipate hazards before they appeared, reacting almost as if guided by Lumi itself. Despite the progress, Ethan knew they were still being watched. The encrypted transmissions that followed their path never stopped. Whoever had sent them were tracking the Orion, waiting for the right moment to reclaim their cargo. But Ethan also felt that there was more to Lumi than he understood. The alien was not just intelligent. It carried a secret, something important enough that others had risked capturing it. One day, while scanning a region of space with unusual energy readings, Ethan discovered a hidden log buried deep in the Orion's AI. It was old, encrypted, and marked with a security code that had likely kept everyone out. With Lumi's guidance, the human carefully decrypted it. The messages were fragmented, but the meaning became clear. The ship had been part of a secret interstellar project, a program to transport living beings capable of interfacing with ancient alien technology. Ethan's mind raced. "You weren't just cargo," he murmured to Lumi. "You were a key. Someone wanted you to unlock something." Lumi's glow pulsed softly, almost in agreement, sending waves of calm understanding into Ethan's mind. The log contained coordinates to a distant, uncharted planet. Its surface was hidden behind energy fields, making it invisible to most scans. According to the messages, this planet held a facility created by a long-lost alien civilization, designed to store knowledge and technology far beyond humanity's current understanding. And it seemed that Lumi's species had been tasked with safeguarding this technology. Ethan realized that this was why the alien had been captured, placed in containment, and shipped across the galaxy. It was not by accident, it was deliberate. The Orion had been chosen to deliver Lumi to this planet. But someone else had other plans. Determined to protect Lumi and uncover the truth, Ethan set a course for the uncharted planet. The journey would take weeks, but he felt a growing confidence in his partnership with the alien. Lumi guided him through uncharted space, warning of gravitational anomalies, asteroid clusters, and energy storms. The alien's ability to sense danger became more pronounced, and Ethan relied on it more than any instrument on the ship. During their journey, Ethan spent time studying the planet through sensors and satellite scans. The surface was unlike anything humans had catalogued. Massive crystalline structures reflected the faint light of distant stars. Forests glowed faintly with bioluminescent vegetation. Rivers shimmered in colors that no human eye had ever seen. The planet seemed alive, not just with energy, but with an intelligence that resonated with Lumi. When they finally entered orbit, Ethan felt a mix of awe and anxiety. He could see the ancient facility from orbit, towering spires of crystal and metal, surrounded by fields of strange energy. But there were signs of activity: drones patrolling the area, automated defense systems, and unusual energy readings that suggested someone else had arrived before them. Ethan turned to Lumi. "We have to be careful," he said. "Whatever's here, we're not alone." Lumi pulsed brightly, sending a stream of images into his mind. Paths, corridors, and weak points in the facility's energy field. It was guiding him, as if it had been here before or had knowledge of the facility's design. Landing on the planet was a challenge. The energy fields distorted their navigation, forcing Ethan to rely entirely on Lumi's guidance. As the Orion descended, Lumi projected patterns that stabilized the ship, allowing them to land safely on a crystalline plateau. Ethan exhaled in relief, grateful for the alien's abilities. Once outside, Ethan marveled at the planet's beauty. The air shimmered with faint colors, and every sound seemed amplified and alive. Lumi moved with purpose, leading him toward the facility. As they approached, they noticed remnants of old structures and devices scattered across the ground, evidence that the planet had been abandoned long ago, yet still active in mysterious ways. Inside the facility, they encountered more than just corridors and empty rooms. Holographic interfaces lit up as Lumi approached, displaying images of ancient beings, their achievements, and warnings. Ethan realized that the facility was more than a storage place. It was a repository of knowledge, a record of an advanced civilization that had mastered energy manipulation, interstellar travel, and perhaps even the secrets of life itself. Then came the first real danger. Automated defense drones, previously inactive, suddenly activated, scanning the corridors for intruders. Ethan drew a small energy blaster he had found in the Orion, while Lumi's glow intensified. The alien projected waves of energy that disrupted the drone's sensors, allowing Ethan to move silently past them. It became clear that Lumi could interact with technology in ways humans could not, and their partnership was essential for survival. Deeper in the facility, they found a central chamber. In the middle was a massive energy core, pulsing with a soft, blue light. Ethan approached cautiously. Lumi moved closer, its glow brightening, almost merging with the core's energy. Suddenly, images flooded Ethan's mind, a story of an ancient civilization that had created the planet as a sanctuary, using beings like Lumi to protect its secrets. This is why you exist," Ethan whispered. Lumi responded with a cascade of images: training, capture, containment, and finally, release. It was clear that the alien had been meant to reach this place, and Ethan was the unexpected variable, the human capable of making decisions that would honor the original purpose. Before Ethan could process everything, alarms blared. The sensors detected incoming ships, faster and larger than anything Ethan had faced. The bounty hunters, or perhaps the original captors, had followed them. Ethan's mind raced. He had to protect Lumi, secure the facility, and survive. Using Lumi's guidance, they navigated through side corridors, avoiding detection. Lumi interfaced with the facility, opening hidden doors and deactivating security systems. Ethan realized that without the alien, they would have been trapped. With it, they had a chance to outsmart their pursuers. As the intruders landed on the planet's surface, Ethan prepared a plan. He led them through a series of narrow corridors and energy barriers, using the facility's design to their advantage. Lumi projected illusions and interference patterns, confusing the attackers' sensors. Ethan used his blaster sparingly, disabling drones and creating obstacles to slow them down. Finally, they reached the energy core. Ethan could feel its power radiating through the facility, and Lumi seemed to merge with it, projecting a shield that enveloped both of them. The attackers' ships were unable to penetrate the energy field. Ethan realized that the core, combined with Lumi, was a formidable defense, an almost invincible combination. Exhausted but exhilarated, Ethan turned to the alien. "We did it," he said. Lumi pulsed warmly, conveying relief and gratitude. Together, they had survived the first true test, but Ethan knew the galaxy was far from safe. Whoever had captured Lumi would not give up easily, and the secrets of this facility were too valuable to remain hidden for long. As they rested, Ethan studied the core more closely. Lumi's energy seemed to resonate with it perfectly. Ethan realized that the alien was more than a key. It was a guardian, capable of unlocking the potential of this ancient technology. The implications were staggering. If humans could understand even a fraction of what Lumi and the facility offered, it could change everything. Energy, travel, even understanding life itself. Ethan smiled, feeling a deep sense of purpose. We're discovering something amazing, and we're doing it together. Lumi's glow intensified, as if agreeing wholeheartedly. But somewhere, in the shadows of space, observers continued to track the Orion. They had not yet understood the bond between human and alien, or the power of the ancient facility. Ethan and Lumi had survived the first attack. But the real challenge, the one that would test courage, intelligence, and trust, was still ahead. As the planet's bioluminescent forests shimmered outside the facility, Ethan looked at Lumi and felt a new kind of determination. They were explorers, guardians, and partners. Together, they would face whatever threats came from across the galaxy. And somewhere deep inside, he knew that humanity represented in him was capable of courage, creativity, and choices that could rival even the most advanced alien civilizations. For now, though, they rested. The Orion waited, in orbit, a silent protector. Lumi pulsed softly, a living link between the alien past and human ingenuity. And as Ethan watched the stars shimmer through the facility's crystalline walls, he realized that their journey was only beginning. The galaxy was full of mysteries, dangers, and wonders. But with Lumi by his side, Ethan knew one thing. They could face it all, and together, uncover secrets that no human or alien had ever imagined. The facility on the crystalline planet hummed with energy, soft yet powerful, filling the corridors with a presence Ethan could feel in his chest. Lumi's glow pulsed in harmony with the core, sending waves of light rippling across the walls. For hours, Ethan had studied the aliens' interaction with the facility, realizing that the aliens' abilities were not just defensive, they could activate and control the ancient systems. But calm would not last. The sensors aboard the Orion detected multiple approaching ships. These were no ordinary bounty hunters. Sleek, armored craft, equipped with weapons that rivaled the Orion's limited defenses, were descending toward the planet. Ethan's heart pounded. Whoever had captured Lumi wanted the alien back, no matter the cost. "Lumi, we can't let them take you," Ethan whispered, gripping the control console. The alien pulsed brightly, projecting a wave of understanding into his mind. Together, they needed a plan, one that combined human ingenuity and alien power. Ethan quickly scanned the facility for escape routes and defensive mechanisms. He discovered hidden energy conduits, dormant systems capable of creating barriers, and a series of tunnels that led to the planet's surface. He realized that if they could manipulate these systems with Lumi's help, they could protect themselves and even turn the tables on their attackers. As the enemy ships landed, drones and guards spilling onto the planet's surface, Ethan prepared the first move. "Lumi, we'll create a diversion," he said. The alien's glow brightened in agreement. Ethan activated the facility's energy conduits. Light flared across the corridors, confusing the invaders' sensors. Holographic illusions projected images of corridors that did not exist, forcing the intruders to split up and move cautiously. Ethan led Lumi through hidden passages, the alien projecting guiding lights that indicated safe paths. Their coordination was perfect. Every move Ethan made was anticipated and enhanced by Lumi. The enemy, despite their advanced technology, struggled against the combined ingenuity of a human and an alien who understood the facility. Finally, they reached the central chamber where the energy core pulsed steadily. Ethan could feel its immense power radiating outward. He understood now that the facility had been built not just to store knowledge, but to test and judge those who approached it. Lumi's presence activated the systems, creating shields and barriers that no human or alien weapon could penetrate. The attackers regrouped, launching a coordinated strike toward the core. Ethan held his ground, using the Orion's communication system to control external drones he had remotely piloted earlier. He moved with precision, dodging energy blasts and using the facility's defenses to slow the intruders. Lumi extended its glow toward the core, sending a wave of energy that amplified the protective shields, creating a barrier that forced the attackers to retreat momentarily. Ethan realized something profound. The facility responded not just to power, but to intent. It had recognized the bond between him and Lumi, the cooperation between human and alien. Their trust, creativity, and courage were being tested, and the facility responded by granting them control. With renewed determination, Ethan and Lumi activated the next phase of the facility. Crystalline panels rose from the floor, creating a labyrinth that channeled energy in precise patterns. The enemy's weapons malfunctioned under the interference. Ethan smiled. "We're showing them that humans are more than just simple creatures," he said. Lumi pulsed, projecting images of courage, strategy, and cooperation into Ethan's mind. Together, they guided the energy, turning the attackers' own technology against them. The final confrontation came at the energy core itself. A heavily armed squad of intruders broke through the defenses, rushing toward Ethan and Lumi. Ethan drew his blaster, but he knew it was not enough. Lumi's glow intensified, forming a protective sphere around them. The energy from the core responded to Lumi, creating waves that lifted the intruders off their feet and forced them back. Ethan realized the truth. It was not brute force that would save them, but ingenuity and partnership. He guided Lumi, thinking several steps ahead. The alien's energy merged with the facility, creating a protective field that neutralized the intruders' weapons. Then, using precise timing, Ethan activated a sequence in the facility's AI, trapping the attackers in an isolated section and locking the doors. Breathing heavily, Ethan looked at Lumi. "We did it," he said. The alien pulsed softly, projecting a wave of relief and gratitude. For the first time, Ethan felt the full magnitude of their partnership. They had faced a superior force and won not through violence alone, but through cooperation, strategy, and trust. With the attackers contained, Ethan turned his attention back to the energy core. Lumi hovered near it, its glow interacting with the pulses of the facility. Together, they accessed the knowledge stored within. Information about energy manipulation, starship design, and advanced technology far beyond human understanding. Ethan realized that humans could learn from this not to dominate, but to grow, to explore, and to connect with other intelligent beings in the galaxy. He reached out, touching Lumi gently. "You trusted me," he said softly, "and I've trusted you. Together, we can understand this, and maybe we can help the galaxy not just ourselves. Lumi responded with a burst of light, forming images of stars, planets, and civilizations reaching out to each other. The experience changed Ethan. He understood now that humans, even in their imperfection, had something unique: the ability to adapt, to show courage, and to make moral choices that influenced not just their survival, but the future of others. Lumi had recognized this in him, and the facility had confirmed it. Days passed as they explored the facility, learning and documenting everything they could. Ethan worked with Lumi to stabilize the energy core, ensuring that its knowledge could be accessed safely. The Orion, now fully functional and enhanced by the aliens' abilities, stood ready in orbit, a symbol of the partnership between human ingenuity and alien intelligence. Before leaving the planet, Ethan accessed the final message stored in the facility. A holographic projection appeared, showing beings from a long-lost civilization. They spoke through images and emotions, conveying a simple but profound message. Life, intelligence, and courage are to be protected and shared. Trust those who show understanding, and wisdom will follow. Ethan felt the weight of responsibility. He knew that Lumi had been entrusted to humanity for a reason. It was not just a matter of survival, but of proving that humans were capable of more than selfishness or violence. They could make choices that honored life, curiosity, and trust. As the Orion lifted off from the planet, Ethan took one last look at the glowing forests and crystalline towers below. "We've done something important here," he said to Lumi, "and this is only the beginning." Lumi's glow brightened in affirmation, and Ethan felt a surge of hope. Back in orbit, the Orion's sensors detected no pursuers. The intruders had been forced to retreat, and the galaxy, for now, was quiet. Ethan knew it would not stay that way forever. There would always be threats, explorers, and seekers. But he also knew something else. Humans, with courage, creativity, and moral strength, could face challenges that even the most advanced civilizations might underestimate. Ethan plotted a course for the next system, ready to explore new worlds, meet new civilizations, and continue the partnership he had forged with Lumi. The Orion was no longer just a ship, it was a vessel of hope, discovery, and the bridge between human and alien understanding. As stars stretched across the viewport, Ethan smiled. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and full of mysteries. But with Lumi by his side, he felt ready to face anything. Together, they had proven that intelligence, trust, and courage could overcome fear, oppression, and even the most advanced technology. Ethan realized that this journey was more than adventure, it was a testament to humanity. They had shown that humans were capable of compassion, ingenuity, and heroism. And somewhere deep in the core of the Orion, Lumi pulsed softly, a living reminder of the bond they had formed. The Orion glided silently into deep space, carrying Ethan, Lumi, and the promise of discoveries yet to come. The galaxy stretched before them, full of challenges, wonders, and life waiting to be understood. And for the first time, Ethan felt certain that humanity had a role among the stars, not as conquerors, but as explorers, friends, and protectors. Together, human and alien, they would face whatever the universe had in store, proving that courage, trust, and partnership were more powerful than any weapon or technology. And as the Orion moved onward, its lights pulsing in harmony with Lumi, Ethan knew one thing for sure. This was only the beginning of a story that would stretch across the stars.